Welcome, everyone, to episode 5 of my tutorial series, Steps in Getting Better at Art. In this video, I'll show you guys an easy way to render hair without having to stress about each individual hair strand. So I picked 3 references of different hair colors to show that this applies to pretty much any hair color, straight or wavy type. As for curly hair, that might require a separate video in the future. Now the references may seem complex, but rendering hair can be broken down into several sections or groups. You can see the major sections here, separated on top of the head where the hairline starts. Wavy parts can be seen flowing from that point onwards. As for the second reference, the hair is more straight and has a simpler shape, so the hair can be broken down into 2 major sections, the front bangs and the side. As for the small group of strands here, I usually just ignore it in the early stage of the process, as those will be the details that will be added later. Now for the third and final reference, this is a combination of bangs and braids, so it's going to be complex. But generally, the same principles apply here. Make sure to follow the flow of the hair. And just like that, you have broken down the hair into smaller, simple groups or sections. After knowing which parts of the hair can be grouped, I made a refined sketch layer specifically for the hair so that it's easier to see the border for adding the base colors using the polygon lasso tool. Here's a quick tip for choosing the color palette. Instead of just color picking from the reference, I recommend adjusting the saturation and value as well. For example, if the hair color from the reference is a bit too dark for the eyes to see where the shadows are, I recommend increasing the value and adjusting the saturation so that it's easier to render. After color blocking the base layer, you can smoothen out the edges with a soft brush tool, like I did here with the front bangs. Moving on to the first shading layer, I used a soft brush and lasso tool. I also played around with a detailed sketch brush so that my shading looks more precise in the grooves where hair overlaps in different layers. Now for the second and third reference. Once you're done with the first shading layer, I like to use an airbrush tool as a gradient to darken the bottom parts of the hair, upwards, opposite of where the light source is coming from. Now for the second shading color is where the hair starts to look better, offering a more gradient and detailed look. At this stage, I use the lasso tool and detailed brush more often. The third and final shading layer will be used more as a cast shadow which is why I use multiply as the layer blending mode. I also adjust the opacity. I initially tried using the ink pen, but then decided that it didn't match with the layers below it, so I decided to use the soft brush. Using the soft brush makes the hair much smoother and shiny, rather than plasticky. Now for the glow effect. You can either use an overlay or color dodge layer. In this case, I tried using both and see which one looks better in the end. Make sure to use an airbrush for this. And finally, the details. I used the detailed brush again for this and painted above all the other layers without the clipping mask on. I made sure it follows the flow of the hair. For the color choice, I used the color pick tool and picked the color on where the detailed strands would start. Thank you guys for watching, and if you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more future content related to art.